who's not here in the list with those who joined you guys in the other sessions, please let me know. If at all not joined here, maybe you can let me know so that I can include him as well. Yes, good evening, Ziaf. So anyone can summarize it? Make the class a bit interactive, guys. Yeah, come on, make it as a discussion. Yeah, so we were discussing, like the various paradigms, programming techniques that have been evolved, and so on. And then we ended up somewhere in object-oriented coding, is it not? If I am not mistaken. Again, pin drop silence. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Aisha. Yes,
Learned
Junaid.
the evolution of the programming system. So from non-structured to structured and then to object-oriented, we learned the main differences and the benefits of what the object-oriented programming is. For example, like specialized coding for the users and the benefits of those mainly.
Exactly, exactly. Thanks, Unite. Yeah. So there where we are, right? We are just discussing the various techniques, and then we ended up somewhere in the object-oriented programming. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to show you guys is I've been telling there, right? We can do what real-world objects with object-oriented coding. Yeah. So let us simulate a very simple example to make you feel today. What is this object-oriented programming? Hmm? So what is my intention today is to just introduce you what are objects. What is object-oriented programming? Let us see one example practically. Then you would go back to my explanations. Maybe you would be in a better situation at this point of time, more clear than you were when I was explaining you the concepts. In fact, I wanted to do with NetBeans, but still some of you haven't installed. So let me go with this. This is a handy compiler. That means I would not say that it is so flexible. Let me share my screen as well. I have some theory which I have to complete in my previous chapters, what I was discussing yesterday. So I will come back to it. I will connect to it maybe in a while after I just make you feel what is object-oriented programming. I hope all of you can get into this page now. Any issues? Any issues? All of you can access this page, right?
Yes, sir, I can access.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah. So let me use a notepad now. Yeah, this one. What are we going to do? When I say OOP, yeah, object-oriented programming, guys, am I audible to all of you? Is it all of you? My voice is clear. In case if you have any difficulties, please voice it out. Yeah, I'm assuming that you can hear me clear. So when I say OOP, object-oriented programming, the first thing which comes into your mind is something like real-world objects. I can program real-world objects. What do I mean by that? Let us take an example of maybe student management system. Let us make it interactive. Yeah, maybe I would like to hear from whom can we disturb? Yeah, can we disturb Kavyu? I don't know whether I'm pronouncing your name. Bear with me. You, is it? Why, Kavyu, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, let us go to Aisha. Now, Aisha, is it? Aisha, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, okay. So think of this student management system. Can you identify, who are the real world people involved in the system? You know what?
So
Yes.
I should identify.
Yeah. Who are the people who are involved in this kind of a software system which manages the student details? Who is the hero here? Or who is the key
I
player here? Who is the key player in student management system?
Okay. Maybe the teachers.
Hey, this is for maintaining the students' data. So student is the main player, right? Okay. So I take the student. Of course, we have what, lecturer. Of course, we have what, admin staff. These are all the people who are involved in this what, software system called student management system. All right. So when you do this, first of all, I said that I can program the student. I'm going to show you this example. How can I program your student? So what I have to do in object-oriented programming is I need to create something called as a class. And if I wanted to make students from the class, that means, you see, then I make objects. I'll tell you what is this. Those who already know, please tell. You may find this basic, but I need to cater different levels of students as of software is concerned, so I'm giving you the scratch. So this is student. So what I have to do, if I wanted to program the student, I need to make one class, and from there I can make a object. All right, this is the flow. What is this class? This class is called as blueprint, or I would say template. You know what is a blueprint, right? This is the master copy from where the buildings are raised. We follow this, and this is very important. And what I do is I will create a class which is a kind of a blueprint or a master copy, MC. From there I make objects. What are objects? From this template, I can make students like what? Li, Fu, Chin, and so on. But you need to understand that this Li, Fu, Chin is possible because of this template, where this template is called as a class. So if at all you wanted to make students like Li, Fu, Chin, you need to make sure you define a class first. That's what I'm going to do now. All right. If you take this, I'll follow the coding now. I go to this one. This is very small, yeah. So, but still, I will try to zoom it. See, it works. Yeah, it works. Is it all of you can? All of you can see this, right? Yeah. So now you can see that in Java, when you write a coding, each and every coding is a class. Already there are some codings which you can simply ignore it, but this is the most important template which is already given to you for coding. So please don't disturb this one. If you start any Java program, here this is the program name, I would say. So I have started a program called as my class, and every program in Java is called as a class. Since I want to start a program, I called my program as my class, and then I started. And this is something called as a method. This section is called as a method, this block. So every main class, that means when you start a program, you will have a class followed by the name of the program what you started, and that will have one main method like this block. So, this one and this one. So you have a block like this. And don't disturb any of this, because this is the template that is given for you to start your coding within this block. All right. So you need, if at all you wanted to code anything, you need to play within the scope of this block. I mean, you will be playing here writing codes. Right? This is what we are going to do with NetBeans as well. Okay. Now, to start with, let me simply give you one command of Java called as so what is this system.out.println? You see, this is the line I have written. Sebastian, can you tell me what is this?
Println means print line, print a new line. So it is for you to display text. It allows you to display text that you put within the quotation mark or whatever variable you put within the bracket.
Okay, so it is just a printout statement, right? Yeah. Okay, of course you can hear you, right? All right, now let us see what will happen if I just compile it. Compile means what? I have written a simple coding to say this output, as you know, Sebastian said, this will output. Any programs, you know, right? It will, it needs you to input some data, do some calculations, and you need to get the output. So this is a statement in Java that can give you an output. Those who are already familiar with other programming languages would know that. Sir, okay, how do I compile it? Just click this executing button, execute button. You will see the output here. Can you observe it? Can you get the output? Can you please give me a hands up, thumbs up, so that you guys are working on it? Or if you find it very basic, also okay, please bear with me, because I need to start from the scratch. It is a prerequisite batch. At the same time, I have only 1 month as well. All right. So I hope you can understand me. So now I have Aicha. Are you doing? Are you following? Might be sleeping. Okay. So now I have here. So I want maybe another line here. I can just go for another output. System.out.println, I would say Asia Pacific. And I want another one. I can simply say system.out.println. All right. So now you can see here. Like, can you see what is the problem here? Because I missed each and every line in Java needs to terminate with a semicolon. Yeah. Then you can see this. Yeah. This is the output. This is a very simple example. All right. I know what you are thinking. Yeah. Hey, you said something like you are going to do on student and Li, Fu, Chin and all. Where are we doing it? Yeah, just I showed you a simple example of how to print out. Let us go and do the student class now. How to do a student class? I can simply create a class here following the keyword class followed by what is the class name. All right. So this is a simple example of creating class. Then I can create another class called what? Lecturer. Then I can create another class called admin. Okay. Now I have created these three different classes here. Okay. Then I am going to take this code out now. I'm going to take this code out now. Okay. And okay, my system is a bit laggy, so I'm going to off my cam. Okay. Cobb is asking, yeah, is it private or public class? Yeah, it shows that you know already Java. So tell me whether is it private or public? So you need to understand that all class in Java, you can set it as what? Public or private or protected. So here by default is you see here all the classes here you can see whether it is public or not by you can go and this is private to this particular class. Now you can see here, for example, I make one object. How do I make one object? Student S1 equals to new, or I make one example, student CAO equals to new student. Student So what I am trying to do now is how I showed you here, how I showed you in my explanation, that I create what? I create a class called, I create a class called student, and then I make one object from here, which is, then I have made another one object here as, okay, and this one CAO, ICHA, both of them are called as what? Objects. And this is a class. Alright, so what are you going to do with this? Let us see what we are going to do with this. I will come to all this: private, public, inherit, extend, implement, everything. Yeah. So now, yes. Now let us go and make one object of this class student, right? Here I put class. This class student can have some attributes. What are the attributes? What are attributes means? You see, when you go and make one class or one real world object like this real world object will have some data associated with this. Will have some data associated with it, like what? When you are actually a student of APU, then you have something called as what? TP number, TP number, name. Let us take one example of it. Yeah, TP number, name. Maybe I go for address. All right. So let us start with this 3. These 3 are the data that is associated with this class student. I can go and define it inside this class now. I can go and define it inside this class now. How do I define it? I want to make it what type of value this TP number holds it. I need to make it defined inside here. So let me go and define these 3 items, which are TP number. I want to make it as private here, and this private is a string and TP number. Private string name, and assume that I go and make all the 3 attributes. These are called as attributes. So let me give you one example here. For example, I want to make it public. One of this attribute is public. Okay, when I make one of the attribute public, TP number is public. So after I make an object here, I can go and access it inside this another class straight away, assigning a value for it, maybe TP0, something like that. Then if I go and say cao.name equals to now I want to print. Let me take this off. Let me try to print the details of this CAO curve TP number. I want to print it. System.out.println CAO.name. Try to execute this and share the output of this. Share the output now. Screenshot of the output, please. Can you do? Come on, make it fast, guys. What is the output you guys are getting it when you execute? Come on, can you share the output? Kav, can you voice out, please? Very vivid. I don't know what you're trying to say. Kav. Can anyone understand this? Kav, do you have any questions? Can anyone else have done the screenshot? Please share it. Execute and share it.
Sir, can I see the code for it?
Okay. You want the screenshot? I can give you. Yeah. I will give you in this meeting chat, please. You can access it. And if you want here, I can give you that as well. Time being, maybe if you don't want, you can take this out. It is not needed now. Confirmly, this is going to give you error, but I want that error, so I have purposely given certain commands here. Let us try. What's your understanding on that? Yeah. Can you execute the code and give me the screenshot of the output in the meeting chat for me, please? Junaid has given some response. Yes. What is your understanding here? Those who are already very familiar, please, okay, leave it. Others answer, let them answer. If you have any doubts, ask me. It is very clear, right? Aisha, maybe since you said you are very, perplexed with this, let me try to make you understand more better, Aisha, but you need to respond to me. Can you read the error message? Can you read the error message? These are all errors, In my coding, it says that it got 2 error. Can you read the error message for me?
In my class Java 16 error, name has private access to the student. That line, teacher?
Yeah,
Then has
it,
private access to the student system.
yes, yes, yeah, your voice is
Sounds
echoing,
very,
yeah.
yeah.
So you see here, this one is in line number 14 and this one is in line number 16. Let us go to line number 14 first. Let us go to line number 14. If you go to line number 14 here, see this is maybe, yeah, this is in his coding, yeah. So it says there is a error in assigning CAO dot name equals to copy here. This is the error, first error. Let us go to that line first and try to understand. If you go to this line, this is actually, you see here is the error and here is the error. These are the two lines you got. Why? Can you look at this name? This name is what? Is it a private or a public data? It is a private data, right? Aisha?
Yes, it's private.
It is private means, sir, to whom it is private? It is private to the student class. That means within this block, it is private. You can use the data, name, address within the scope. But you see this guy, I mean this public class student is assumed that it is person 1. And you see this my class is another person 2. Now I am trying to say that I can able to hide some data and expose some data to others like P2 if at all I need it. If I want to keep my name and address private to myself, then I am going to keep them as private. So I am keeping it tight. But I don't mind others going and accessing this TP number. So I can able to give the data, I can able to expose the data using a keyword called public. So what is the main advantage, or I would say disadvantage of the previous approach is this kind of leverages of what? Handling the data with some options like exposing it to some others and hiding it to the class itself is all not at all possible. Now here I can keep my data private and public as per my requirement. Did you understand this, Aicha?
Yes, much better.
All right. So this is one of the main, I would say, the most important advantage of object-oriented programming. So what we are picking up from here is, I can able to, model the student and put some data inside, and I can then come out with objects like real world, persons like Kaf and, maybe Aisha, maybe, Sebastian and so on. So if at all I want to create another class called lecturer, I am going to do that now. Class lecturer. And I can put some data here, public. Okay, I would make an example of, private string lecturer ID. Assume that I am going to assign some student to this lecturer. I can have one, student inside this lecturer class called as what? Master student. lecturer, master, student. So what I am trying to do here is, I am trying to assign one student to this lecturer. So I go and create one attribute called student, and of course the name I am giving here is what, master student. So this lecturer can handle only what, student of maybe masters. So I call this as master student. So what you can do here is, you can later, after you created this graph, okay, let me take out this TP number because it is not possible for me to do, and this assignment is also not possible for me to do because this TP number is this name is what, kept tight. I cannot do that, and I cannot simply print that as well. So after I create a student, let me create a lecturer now. This lecturer called Kader Basha Naushad, KBN equals to. You see how you need to read this means, I want a lecturer. So his name is KBN and he is of type lecturer, and I need to create an object of this, so I use this new lecturer keyword. What did I do? I created this KBN, or I make it more Naushad. This is my name. So I created one lecture. And you see, this is a public, okay, public. I have one public attribute where I can assign a student to this lecturer. So what I can do, I can go and say Naushad dot master student equals to, do you understand? Are you following?
Yes.
All right. So no error, nothing. So what happened? I have created one student and I have assigned to this Naushad, who is a lecturer. It's amazing, right? This is what we call it as object-oriented programming. So still I'm going to proceed further now. There are something called as, you see, every class has got, you know, I would say two sections. One is the attribute section. Another one is what? Methods. What are methods? Methods are nothing but functions. See, this is a class, student class. And this is a lecturer class. And here I put 3 pieces of data. What are the 3 pieces of data? This is TP number. Then this is name. And this is address. And here I put 2 pieces of data, lecturer ID, and I placed one student inside. That is what, master student. So understand that we have done this part now. Sir, why did you put this 3? As a programmer, you need to identify. When a problem comes to you, saying that a client is saying that I wanted to do this, then you need to identify which which are the objects or the classes you need to make for the problem. And then you need to identify what are the information that need to be coupled or that need to be fed inside, like how I have done this 3. And these are technically by jargon called as attributes. ATTRIBUTS, attributes. You know what are attributes? Some information that can add more detail to this class. If I want to know more about the student, then I can go and look into the attributes. So I would say attributes are piece of data that decorates the student, that beautifies the student or make it more clear. So if at all your problem is given to you, what you need to identify is the classes and make sure you give proper information inside the classes that can describe the class in detail. Am I made it clear? Am I confusing you?
Sir, the lecturer ID and master student, are these the attributes of the lecturer class?
Yes, exactly. So these are all helping me to get to know more details about this lecturer. So every lecturer will have something called as an ID. In this class, we have an assumption that all the lecturers handles master student. So I created simply for example. These are all just, sir, why you create this one? Why not you add another one more? Can just I'm trying to show you one example. But these are all called as attributes. So as a programmer, you need to identify the proper attributes. That is the first thing you are going to do, this section. Then what is this next section? These are meant for methods. So every class will have something called as attributes, what we have seen, and another part of it is called as methods. What are these methods? Maybe anyone who is already familiar can share here to get a different voice. Yeah, I know you are tired of my voice, and this is your second class. Can anyone share me what are methods? Those who are already familiar with this, guys, come on, make the class a bit interactive.
Doctor, methods are basically some blocks of codes which are actually put together to perform some specific tasks. So apart from object-oriented programming, they are called functions.
Okay, very good, very good. I picked up these two keywords from your response friend. Yeah, tasks and then functions. These are the keywords. I'm picking up from my friend's response there. Yeah, functions. Yeah. So these methods, I would say, is they are all performing some tasks and functions. So if at all I have a class student, what are the actions that I can perform with the student need to be written here as methods. All right. So say I wanted to simulate the student, real world student, right? So if I come across a student, what I would like to first know about the student is his details, right? Come on, hey, which class are you, or which batch are you, or what's your name, where are you from? This is what we will. All right. So I want the student to respond with his personal, with his details, with his information. So in that case, I can make one method here called what? Student details. So when I go and say that, hey, come on, give me your detail, there is a function called as print student detail that will display the details of the student. So this is not a single action, it is a block of actions, as our friend said. Because what do I mean by block of actions? It is not just giving one piece of data, it's giving a series of info. So in that case, if it has more than one action to be performed, so we can group them and make it as a function. How do I do that? I'm going to show you now. So let me give you this diagram. What all you want, you use it. So I'm going to the second part of my coding here, class coding. Methods. How do I write methods? In Java, you want to comment or add some nodes, you can just use what, double slash. That one is for single line of comment. Yeah. I wanted to write methods, and these are all what, attributes. So when I say methods, I wanted to have a public method which doesn't returns anything. Well, I call the name as what? Print details. Then I go and say inside here system.out.println all the details. My name equals to followed by name and all right. So I assume that when somebody asks the student data, I am going to give it in this way as a programmer. And then I call a method called print detail. So why did you put print details? Can I give a different name? Any name, as long as it follows the rules and it is up to the programmer's choice. So what is this void? Void is null. That means it won't return any value. We will come to that a bit later. Yeah. But understand that this void means this print details doesn't throw any data to this method, because now you see, yeah, I have this right now show that master student equals to CAO. What do? I go and say I called my student and I am asking his data now. Come on. But Java is sensitive, you know, friends. It is case sensitive. Make sure if you go and change this capital P to small p, then it is different. Then this guy will give an error. Let us check. Clearly it points out here. Okay. So now let us go and change this here. Then execute here. Can you tell me why this error? Why this output it is not an error? Because you see, what you have done here is what? You have set only the TP number, but you have not set what? The name and address. I don't know whether you guys are following it. Maybe I will give you the screenshot for you to follow. Come on.
Yes, teacher.
Sorry. Your voice is echoing, Aisha. You see, there is a method. And okay, I don't want to. So I just, this is one class and this is. All right. Now you see. First, try this out. Try to understand this one. Now you need to understand this line. I told you, right? I make objects student and objects like student. This is a class is made it, and then another class is made as lecturer. You know, there is another class, and this one is what? Lecturer. And then I made what? Two objects. One is Pav, another one is Naushad. And then I made this Naushad to talk to this CAO so that the CAO can give me the details. All right. Following? Kav, what is this void is? I can tell you that void is doesn't returns a value. When you put void, it doesn't returns a value. Sometimes you see, yes, void equals no value. Maybe wait, I can tell you what is this. There is difference here. This is void and this is returning integer. Can you tell me what is the difference now? Kav? I don't know whether calling your name because I couldn't hear you as well. Okay. Tell me what is the difference. I will share it here. If you look at these two coding, what is your understanding? Come on. Java, I know you know Java, yeah? I hope then you can tell me. What is the difference? What is this one and what is this one? Anybody who can understand or those who already know, please share your thoughts here. When I say void, what it is doing here? When I say int, what it is doing here? Yes, somebody open the mic, I hope.
Yes, sir. Public void technically, it returns null value.
It returns null.
Yeah, it returns null because technically it returns nothing, but it does run whatever like code or function you put within public void.
Yeah,
Public integer will return you integer value
it throws back this value
as an integer.
from this class to the called class. That means this my class is the one which is calling, right? The my class is the one which is requiring this age. So if at all as a programmer you have given them an option to get the age, then you create a method which has a return type, which is what type of value this age is returning. This age is of type what? Integer. Then I have to create a method which returns this, because age is what? Of type integer. So when you have these two class, maybe C1 and C2 for example, both of them are different entities. You have some piece of data here. When somebody wants to fetch this private data, you can write a method which returns whatever the type of data. Maybe you see this is integer. I call this as x. I call this as x. If somebody C2 wants to know C1's x, and as a programmer you allows it, then you create one public method which returns this type of data, and you have a return keyword and followed by what data you want to return. In that case, if here C2 wants to get this age of maybe someone here called x1, who is an object of this type x, then I want to call this age, then I want to maybe make a statement like my age, then I would be in a situation to get this age, because this method will throw this age back to this. Otherwise, what will happen with the void means it will not return any data here, and it will just vomit the data what you wanted to do here. I am just printing it out, but it is not throwing a data to the called class. And that is what this void is about. Void doesn't throw the data. Am I said correct, Kaf? Is it okay? Do you understand it? All right, that is the difference between void and throwing a data. Okay, so I'll give you the screenshot as well. Sir, what is happening? You put private, what you are going to do with that? And when you put private, you know, how can we able to access this data? If at all I can able to access within here, where I am going to set the age, name, and address. If I cannot set like this, then how do I? how do I assign this name and address? You have two ways to do that. One is something called as writing a constructor. What do you mean by, C O N S T R. Okay, this is called as constructor. So what is a constructor? When you make an object, this is the method that will be executed. What do you mean by make an object? When I go and say this statement, lecturer, Naushad, okay, equals to new lecturer. When I make this statement, what it does is internally it fires or execute this method called constructor. How to write a constructor? Constructor is nothing but the same name, a method like what I did here, but the same name of the class. So I am going to make a constructor method. So you can put it in any order. I go and make public and I say student. That means you see this is a method in the name of the class exactly. And what is so special about this is there is no any return type like what? Void or integer. So what are you going to do with this? When you create this student like this, I can pass the private data you wanted to, like name and address, right? I can pass it here. Name, okay, I have to pass three data which are private. Name, address, age. Name, address, maybe I don't know where is he from. Maybe we'll make it from Kalinjaya, and maybe I'm assuming his name, his age is to be 21. Not sure, yeah, just a wild guess. So I go here and you see when you say this, you have three data, right, which are private. You can receive it here. String A, comma, string B, comma, string. Happens here is when you do this, yeah. I will. So when you go and do this, happens is when you go and make an object in this statement, I have written a constructor here to take this data in this A. I make it here straight. This one would go to this A, and this one would go to this B, and this one would go to C. I receive it. And then what do I do now? Then take this A and put it in the private name. So I'm going to do here like this. Name equals to name equals to A. You have to understand that the private data is filled up passing through a constructor. What is the concept you need to take here is, I have my private data. You can access it, but come on, get the proper channel. That is the way we are restricting this access. When I have a private data, you cannot go and trespass it like saying cao.tp number. You need to come through proper channel. That is what this constructor is telling. You see, you have various data. You have your garden with various types of roses, and you see these roses. I am saying, think of data. You have various data, and you give some data public so that anybody can walk in, can able to access it. But certain data you fence it. Certain data you fence it. What do I mean fence it? You keep it private. So when you keep it private, it doesn't mean that nobody can access it. If they have to access it, they have to come through proper gates. That is one constructor. You want to access my data, come on, go through writing. When you make the object, you pass this data, then I receive it here, and then I can push it to the respective attributes. Do you follow this? No response. Either I have to take it, you understand, or totally don't understand. I don't know. Sebastian is replying. Let me check. Yeah, for those who are starters, may be finding a bit difficult, but please go through. After my sessions, you can try to do your research. You can follow my recordings as well. And with that understanding, maybe you can refer to any authentic sources like books, and you try to get some idea. So the point here is, you need to make sure that your data is very, very crucial, and you have, as an object-oriented programmer, option to regulate how somebody can access this data. Anybody can straight away walk in here and can access it, what I'm doing here. You see, this guy called my class is a person P2, right? And he is straight away stampeding this TP number, because this TP number is kept public. So he just walk in and he can do anything with this, and that is what happening here. But I purposely made what this name and address fenced it. That means, come on, you don't have the option to stampede, or you don't have the option of directly accessing it. If at all you want to access this, come on, get the key for this key. That is what the constructor is about. And you can do another way called as what? Setters. I will teach that maybe in my next session, which is called as setter. And you want to pull the data which is private, then you can, as a programmer, you can give them an option of what? Using a getter. This one is called as what? Mutator, in other words, mutator. And accessor. There are other names as well for this. Different books follow different terminologies, but the meaning is same. So now you have to understand that we are actually simulating like how things are happening in the real world scenario. I have a student and I wanted to, for every student, I have the option to ask his print details. So if at all I find a student and I wanted to ask him what is his name, I am going to simply call this method called what? CAO dot, this master student dot print details. And how the student is going to respond is here. All right. Maybe I would complete this. It is not string, right? This age is not string. In that case, it should be what? So here I can say what? I will give you the code. No worries. Now you see here, I do like this, right? Print details doesn't have the age. So what I can do, since I have a method, I can call the master student and ask him to what? Give his age. But this is not a system.out.println. I need to catch this, maybe what? My student age equals to this one. Then I go for a system.out.println. Okay, now you see. Execute now and see what happens. You see this one. So there is difference between this statement and this statement. Can anyone tell me that? What is the difference? In the output, what is the difference between these two? Here also you are calling a method print details. Here also you are calling a method my age. What is the difference? This my age is throwing a data which is caught here in this variable. So when I go and request my student to say his age, that student throws this age which is caught in this value variable. So if at all you wanted to throw the data from one class to another class, you need to have a return type. Here you see nothing. I just call this method and that guy vomits some information. That's all. Here you see I call this method, he throws the data and I catch it here in this variable, and then I can proceed with whatever I can do with this data which is thrown by this student class. That is the difference between what? Void and return. Yeah. Now I will give you my, the revised coding, what I did. Practice it. This is a complete student class. I'm just giving you a feel of it. What is object-oriented coding? Still got lost. Yeah. All right. Please understand how the classes are interacting here. That is very important. Yeah? Like how we talk to different people. Here I make the coding to talk. I know you are tired, maybe after your classes. So Please try to digest the coding whenever you are free. Try it out, and maybe you can think of your own classes. All right, and check it out. So now, can you guys make one class called admin and see how you can make the admin and lecturer talk or collaborate with each other, how they can able to communicate. Can you do some coding on it and try to share with me so that you can apply the learning what I was discussing here? Can we go for it? I'm going to disturb Michelle here. Michelle,
Yes, sir.
do you understand my question? Can we go for it? What are you talking about? I don't know. Isn't it? Are you following?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Ashifullah is responding. Okay. Come on. Just make one class called admin, admin stuff. And you try to give me a coding in such a way that this admin and lecturer can collaborate with each other. I have shown you an example of a lecturer and student can collaborate or talk to themselves. Yeah. Come on, can quickly make it. I will give you the next maybe 30 minutes. No, next 20 minutes. And then we can maybe discuss some other topics. And I will share with you the assignment to be done in this session now, after you share the coding what you have done. Sebastian, you follow?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sebastian. Go ahead, guys. I'm waiting for your response. Actually, your first session was a lab session. Because we could not start the first session in the lab, I gave you some theory and then I gave some additional stuffs here. And now I'm asking you to do some hands-on session. So let us apply what we learned. Go for it. I'll give you the next 20 minutes. You can just take a break from my continuous, voicing, yeah. So just take 20 minutes, try to get this done. Aisha having her own problem. No, Aisha, no worries. Yeah, this is. I'm going to give you the assignment. What you're going to submit for the entire module. I'm going to release your assignment today for the module. You can submit it later during the deadline. Okay, are you happy now? Am I cleared your doubt, Aisha? Are we having assignment on this by
Yes.
today? No,
Yes, yes, teacher. Yeah, I
this
got you.
is not an assignment for today. This is an assignment what you are going to submit for the module at the end of maybe 1 month by now.
Yes, sir. Okay.
So,
Okay, teacher, I got you. Thank you.
all right. I will post your assignment in the Moodle, and also I will share it here as well. Just give me a minute. Guys, I'm sharing this assignment in the meeting chat. You can access it. Yeah.
Doctor, I have done the code. How will I share it with you?
Can you share the coding in the meeting chat? Copy the code and give it in the meeting chat for me, Ashif.
Okay. The complete code.
Yeah, just give me the code for the class admin and
Yes.
class lecturer. Yeah.
Okay.
I have shared the assignment. Go through the assignment, come back to me, guys. I have another important announcement for you. Luckily, I reminded. You see this next week. I'll be on leave for Monday and Tuesday next week. That is on. Thanks, Ashif. Yeah. You see, next week I'll be on leave for Monday and Tuesday. I will post my video for this, so please follow the recordings and get back to me, and I will, after I come back, I will replace it during any available time of you guys. Okay, so let me give you that. You see, this 13th and 14th I'm on my annual leave, and I will replace the class after I come back and discuss with you and find your free timing, and I can able to replace it on any other day, because here every week the schedule is updated, so based on the available time on that week, maybe I will come back to you with a convenient time to replace these sessions on next Monday and Tuesday. If at all you have, because I feel like you have classes affected on Tuesday, right? One session, that is your lab session. I would try to defer it in any other convenient day on your availability after I come back and check with you. Understood? Clear?
Understood, sir.
Yeah, that's great. So I give you the screenshot as well. I am 13th and 14th. I am on leave. Okay, now let us see our Ashif's coding here. If you look at this Ashif's coding here, you see class admin. Let me share it with you here. Let me share it in the meeting chat. Share it, right. So he has done class admin, and I hope Sebastian is also responding. This is class admin from Ashif, and he has a long lecturer class. Okay. This is the lecturer class for him. Let us debug, yeah. He has a class admin, and you see this admin has got both student and lecturer inside. Good. So because admin would be able to interact with the student as well as lecturer, right? So he has made these two attributes of the other two classes like student and lecturer inside this admin. Okay, and let us see how he is, he has here this data. So he has made this two like this. Admin, he make one object long as an admin, and then he passes what the lecturer inside this admin to be what Naushad, then his lecturer print details is going to print the details of the Naushad. Yeah, that is how you can interact with these different classes. And here there is Sebastian's coding as well. He has done the lecturer part and admin. He has used the constructor here. Ashif's coding, you can see that it is set to public so that he can directly assign it, whereas here he made it private and then he is passing the data through constructor, admin constructor. Yeah. So for those who need some more examples, please refer to the codings given by Sebastian and also Ashif here. And I posted your assignment. If you look at the assignment, maybe you can start working on it. If you look at the assignment, I refer to my previous lecture slide where I have given you some screenshots of how your assignment is expected. Here you can think of any domain of your choice. Maybe you wanted to manage about your friends, or you wanted to manage about your, invoices, or you want to manage about your books, or you want to manage about the music album. You can do of anything your choice, not an issue. All right. And basically what you need to do is you need to create a simple system that can add, read, update and delete. So this is all should be stored in a database. So later we will learn this. We develop simple GUI like this in Java. Okay, and then take the data from here and post it to this database. Okay, for simplicity, I am going to show you connecting to Access, but not limited to Access alone. If you can connect it to any other databases like MySQL, or you wanted to connect to Oracle, SQL Server, anything is fine for me. Basically what I want is I wanted to add, search, update, delete the data from your Java application to this database. And that is what your assignment is about. First section, question 1. Question 1 is what? You need to collect the interface, what you wanted to maintain. What sort of information you are going to maintain need to be identified. And then you try to design a interface like this. Then you write the code to post the data to the database. Then this is on the networking part. Okay, you need to assume that you have decided to implement a wired network to your office. Analyze the various network topologies that can be considered. You need to do a research. To me, if you are supposed to start the assignment, I would recommend you to start from this, because this is a research report. So you need to go and do some research on what are the various topologies available and everything. So if you are keen on starting your assignment, please focus on this question 3 right now. And these are all the marking scheme. I have given the marking scheme, detailed marking scheme as well on your meeting chat. So please follow that. Yeah. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Yes.
Sir, for the network topology and programming, it's completely research based. There's no implementation.
No, Sebastian.
Okay,
Just give
okay.
me a report. That's it.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. So with that, I'm going to take a leave. You have anything else to clarify or anything else you wanted to discuss, you can. Can we leave?
Sir, I think you have to take the attendance first.
Yes, yes, Sebastian. Surely I will do that. I will not forget it. I know it is very important. Before that, do you have any doubts or anything to be clarified here? No. Okay. So keep in mind that next week I won't be available for Tuesday class. So please don't come and maybe wait for me in Teams, because I won't be available. I'm not in KL at all. So please, yeah. I will refer the class, no problem. Surely. So, okay, I need to. Just a minute, yeah, because a bit slow. Okay. Yes, guys, you can scan the attendance and you can leave. See you. Take care. Bye.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Bye bye. Take care.
Okay. Bye bye. Take care. See you. Stay safe. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, doctor. See you on Wednesday next week.
Okay, Ashif. Take care. You too. Take care. Stay safe.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye.